All right, on Blitz, we have head coach Heath Webb of the Lumpkin County Indians. Coach, always appreciate being able to come and talk about your football team a little bit.
Yeah, always good to talk about my guys, and always a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Now, let's talk about the momentum over the last couple of seasons building up. Really interested to see, what are you seeing, not just at the varsity level, but even trickling all the way down to the Pee Wee level of what's happened the last couple of years here?
Yeah, so my first year here, we developed a 6th grade through 12th grade football program. And then the second year, we're now a kindergarten through 12th grade football program where we all operate as one. And the vision of that long-term planning and making sure that everybody's on the same page and speaks the same language and all that sort of thing. So right now we've got over 400 kids, kindergarten through 12th grade, playing football for us. And so we're really excited about that. Record numbers at the rec department, at the middle school, at the high school, largest numbers in Lumpkin County history. And there's success that's come with that. Obviously, a really good varsity year for us last year at 12-1, and our middle school team was 9-0, won a championship, and we had 2 rec department teams win Super Bowls as well. So we feel like we've got this thing headed in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely, and the common vision is awesome for that all the way through. Let's talk about Cal Faulkner coming back, 3-star quarterback, committed to Georgia Tech. This is a scary question. How much has he improved from last year coming into the season?
Yeah, he's developed a lot, particularly as a quarterback. And a year ago he was sort of an athlete taking snaps, and now he's truly a quarterback, and he's done a great job and developed as a passer and understands the offense better. We've been able to add more things and get him involved more. Also being able to get him involved more defensively and on special teams too, as a generational kind of guy for Lumpkin County, and we need to get him involved in many ways we possibly can. But I think you'll see a different player this year.
Awesome. Now, running back that's the area where people have looked at from the outside, saying, okay, how do you replace the production of Mason Solons? And so Nolan Matthews, who became a great wide receiver, moves into that running back position. Talk about his transition, and do you see any drop off at all there?
I don't really. He really moves back to running back. So he was a running back his whole life, growing up through rec ball and through middle school ball, and even his freshman year in high school, he was a running back and was our JV MVP as a running back. Moved to receiver so that we could get him on the field. We needed him to touch the ball. So he was growing and developing as a wide receiver throughout, and had 2 big touchdown catches against Oconee to kind of set us up for an overtime win. So moving back to running back for him was where he's more natural. And the fastest guy on the team. It'll look a little bit different. It won't be as much ground and pound as you saw with Mason Solons. It'll be a little bit more lightning. So we're excited about what Nolan brings to us.
That's awesome. Let's talk about defensively. You got several guys back on that side of the ball. Yep. That's always nice for a coach to be able to lean on that, because defense oftentimes can set the tone for what the offense does too. But how are you feeling about the defense?
I feel really good. Our front 7 is really good, very experienced. A lot of guys that have played a lot of football. And on the back end, we've got some good players too. So we feel really good about where we're at. We feel like our defense, especially early on in the season, as our young offensive line sort of gels, feel like our defense will make sure that we stay in ball games.
Yeah, and you mentioned the lines, and I think the quote you had given us during a season preview was that there's maybe more depth than you've ever had on the lines, but just needing that experience. How do you feel like that's going to play out in the first couple of games?
Yeah, so we knew, just kind of program mapping, we knew that this year was going to be a year where we needed linemen. So we worked really hard the previous 2 seasons where nobody saw the work, where we were working on developing linemen and doing that through middle school and through JV and doing it through practice. We developed a lot of good linemen. So the talent level is probably better, but the experience is definitely not there. So we feel like we're going to be good. Like I said, it's going to take a little time for those guys to gel together, but it's a really talented group, and on both sides of the ball. I mean, on the defensive line, you'll see us probably play 7 or 8 guys a night, and just a constant rotation of guys that with no drop off from one guy to the next. And so we could do the same thing on the offensive line. So we know we'll have a fresh unit in the ball game when we need it.
Yeah, that would be huge, especially in the big games. And speaking of big games, first region title in school history, incredible feat. All new look this year in Region 6 AAA. What does this team have to do to be able to defend that region title?
Believe, and I think that's one of the things that our guys have done a good job of. For a long time, there was no belief, and now we believe, and we know that we can compete. Trust what we do, and let's go do it. And we know that success last year doesn't mean success this year. It's a whole new deal, whole new opponents, that sort of thing. But because we believe and we know how to execute our offense and defense and special teams, we can go get the job done.
Well, I can't wait to see you get that job done. Thanks again, Coach Webb, for all you do.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. Appreciate you, man.